Who should be buyers slash sellers around the league? So, you know, this
I think
is should be buyers or sellers.
you guys should buy. I,
Who's out there to buy? I mean, unless the Bruins can get Seagrass, maybe. But I
yeah.
mean, I don't know, man. I wouldn't give up draft capital.
Well, I mean, no. See, the reason I think, from my perspective, why you guys should be buyers, and it all comes down to this, and this might just make you roll your eyes at me, but you got Swayman. You've got a very good goaltender. It's obviously you need help on the power play. I still think, I bet you Kreider's still available.
No,
I mean, we had that
so
discussion,
I'm gonna have an
but
unpopular opinion. Swayman has sucked for some stretches. Now
yeah,
he's done better recently, and I'll give him that. But I don't think the Bruins should buy for this reason. I think they'd have to give up a first round pick or like probably Matty Patra, which I don't think would make much sense.
no,
If you're gonna get I don't think the Rangers deal Kreider because I think they're kind of working him back in, and they're hoping they can get what they can from him. I don't see anybody like the only player that even interests me remotely is Seagrass, but it's not like I want to give up a ton for him.
well,
But
well, we talked about this for my guys. What if you guys had a shot at Bo Byram?
I'd take it 100, yeah, all day long. I like Bowen
Yeah,
Byron. Bowen Byron, I think, is a very good defender. I just think when you go to Buffalo, it's like like that Space Jam, the Monstars, like all your talent gets sucked away. So I think,
kind of where
I,
dreams go to die.
yeah, and it baffles me with Buffalo because for whatever reason they have talent on paper. They should be far better than they
Oh,
are. And I picked them a couple years ago, like, oh, this is gonna be the year they're gonna finally break through. And I've always been optimistic about Buffalo before whatever goddamn reason. It just collapses.
I
But
think I had him go to the playoffs last year.
I did too. Or was it the year before? It was the year before probably because I got fed up with them. I think the yeah, Bowen Byron would be a good defenseman. The only problem is with
Yeah,
the Bruins, you'd have to kind of give up like a D man, like who you moving. I mean, I'll throw you Zadorov and like a second rounder to get rid of him,
they might take that.
but
I mean, it's Buffalo.
then the problem is like then you get the reputation of trading, and then I think Zadorov has a no movement clause or a no trade clause, so he wouldn't go to Buffalo. So it's a peculiar. I mean, Bowen Byram, depending on what the ask would be, sure, because he's an RFA at the end of this year.
hmm
But I don't think the Bruins should buy unless they're getting somebody on the cheap. That's why like a Michael Granlund for the San Jose Sharks. I mean, that would have been a nice get if you could kind of deal him for not a crazy price. But the Stars already got him. Seagrass, I mean, he's a younger player, but he kind of struggles to stay healthy. He's already having knee issues at this age, which is not a good sign. So I think the Bruins would probably be better off selling. Like you trade Trent Frederick away. I think you trade Brazil, and I think you move some other pieces, and you're gonna probably get third rounders at most. But I think the Bruins should embrace the rebuild. The Bruins have been a good team for a very long time, and I'm speaking this as a fan of this team that has seen them be very successful. Yeah, it's only one cup run, and you can roast them for that, losing in the finals. But for over what almost damn near 15 years, it was 15 years of playoff teams and top tier contenders. I can't complain. I think the Bruins just need to embrace the suck, embrace the rebuild, trade some assets, try to get as much as they can so they can kind of rebuild on the fly. Where maybe next year they're not a world beater, but they're a little bit better and they're going in the right direction. Sorry, that's a rant. That's what I think if I was a Bruins fan. If I am, since I am a Bruins fan, if I was a Bruins fan, Jesus Christ, it is 3:10 in the morning. I'll use that as that
You get
excuse.
what you get.
You get what you get, and you don't regret. Um, Control says how's prospect for the bees. I mean, offside like Lysel's not worked. Merkulov is kind of like maybe a third line NHL guy. Matthew Patro will probably be a second line center. I like him, but there's nothing crazy. Bruce, he said Bruins were supposed to build 5 years ago. Yeah, I mean, true. any truth to the Bruins trading Brad Marchand? I'm not sure, Daryl. I mean, I think if it happens, it happens. And no, DC, we do not speak the devil's name here. We grow facial hair like men. Daryl, Brad Marchand. I don't think Marchand gets traded. I don't see that happening. But kind of looking at the teams around the league, will bring up the list, bring up the standings. I mean, Florida, one of the best teams, and definitely built for the playoffs. They
Yeah.
should try to maybe look in for some small pieces. The Capitals have been fantastic this year. I was very down on that trade for PLD because he's known as a locker room cancer. But him, Strom, I mean, Logan Thompson's been phenomenal. They signed him for a bargain. So good team, Carolina, New Jersey. If Markstrom comes back, I think they'll be pretty damn good.
I still don't. Like I said, I don't know if I see him making the playoffs.
You're very low. What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, like we talked about last time, I don't know if I see him making the playoffs with all those injuries. With Hirschi being hurt, Markstrom being hurt, are they going to be able to pull it out?
If I'm the Devils, I try to buy whatever I can.
Yeah.
I mean, like just buy some depth. You don't need to buy something crazy. Just somebody to kind of help stem the tide.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm Columbus has this cap space to make moves,
Yeah.
but the only problem is they lost a couple guys with injuries.
Hmm.
Tampa Bay, Boston. You know what's funny? The Islanders, right?
Hmm.
The Islanders are a weird team
Yes.
because they were on a 7 game win streak. They lost versus the Florida Panthers. They're young gold. I'm making an Islanders video that's being edited currently. I'm gonna hopefully get it up tomorrow. And they've been on a fantastic run. Just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective, I'm not gonna ruin the video, but during that 7 game
Do
win
it.
streak, 7 game win streak, Shesterkin had a 957 save percentage with one shutout. He had
The,
142
the
shots
Rangers
against
or the Islanders?
Islanders. Sorry, did I say Shesterkin?
Yeah, you mean Sorokin.
So again, it's 33:15 in the morning. You get what you get. 957 save percentage, phenomenal. 5-0-0. They had Hogberg come in. He had a 933 save percentage the 2 games he played. He made 42 saves on 45 shots against, and then Sherrick, rookie, kind of against Florida, kind of got fed to the Wolves in a back to back, right? Because they played Florida. I mean, they played Tampa. They beat Tampa in overtime. Then they played Florida the next night, and kind of I feel bad for the rookie kid. But I mean, the Islanders, they bring in Tony DeAngelo, well known locker room toxic person. He was playing in the KHL, selling, working at DoorDash on the side. Now he's back at the NHL, and he's looked good. He's looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some injuries with the blue line with the Islanders, but he's looked really good. And I still am not sure. The Islanders' power play is just as bad as the Bruins, if not worse. So they need to adjust that. But their penalty kills are really good. Islanders, if they can, I would try to. They're kind of in a weird situation because they paid a lot of guys mid money. Like, let me actually kind of pull them up here, kind of showing their cap to kind of explain it a little bit better than I am right now. With the Islanders, so they don't really have tons of cap space here.
Hmm.
But like, Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, Palmieri, Pasha, like they have 7 mil, 6 mil, 5 mil, 5 mil. Duclair 3.5, like Enval 3. Like they pay some of these guys a little bit too much. So it's kind of they don't have the cap flexibility they probably should. But I mean, with some of the signings they made, they've been nice little moves. Sorokin, Jesus Christ, Paul cannot speak. He's had a good little bounce back year because last year was a down year. Now some of that was due to kind of found out he needed some surgery. I think it was on his hip.
Yeah, he was hurt.
So I think the Avs should buy. I mean the Avs. Jesus Christ, the Isles should buy. I swear to
Them
God, I'm
too.
not. But Rangers, they kind of already made their purchase. If I'm the Canadiens, I stay pat. I don't buy or sell unless somebody gives me a crazy offer. I think they have a ton of prospects.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, I think you sell. I think you sell. I just think it's time. I think it's time to sell. Flyers, they're kind of younger. They've already kind of made some moves. And then Buffalo, I think it's time for a big change in Buffalo. I think some seismic moves have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it happens at the trade deadline. I think you see maybe an
No.
offseason where they kind of just
Well,
wheel and deal a lot.
I'm interested to see how invested they are in dealing Power and Byram because we brought that up. Where could you see Power going?
Anywhere.
Because that's a big ticket.
Anywhere. I mean, who doesn't. I think it's. So it's hard, right? Because I look at the advanced analytics, and some games good, some bad, some games bad. You watch him play. I don't know if it's just bad. This is not a slight against Lindy Ruff, but also kind of a slight. He's still coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they just need a change in the locker room. I don't know if they just need a new energy. I don't need if they. I just don't know what it is. I don't know if when Jim Kelly lost those 4 Super Bowls in a row, it made every Buffalo franchise cursed after that. I I don't know, but I just genuinely don't know. It's just it's baffling to
Oh
me
my
with
God.
Buffalo
Yeah, it is. It's
because I'm sorry, you look at this team and there's no way they should be this bad. I'm not saying a top contender. I'm not saying lead elite, right? But they shouldn't be this bad. They
they
shouldn't.
got some good pieces there.
They do. I mean, and you hate Zach Benson, but whatever. He played very good for the Kootenay Ice or
Yeah, good for him.
and juniors. Quinn potential. Alex Tuck. He was very good for Vegas. Cousins. I don't think Cousins has produced very well this year. Let me kind of double check. Let me fact check. 26 points in 52 games played. I mean, that's not good enough for a 7 mil guy you're paying this year. Tage Thompson, I think, big. That's what hoping the Bruins Dean Letourneau turns into. But 48 points. He's over a point per game for 47 games played. JJ Paterka, he's having 41 points in 50 games, so he's a good player. But then the honest question here is now, you have Darlene, right? He's 24. You have Byram 23, Samuelson 24, Power 22, and you're paying him 8.3. The problem, I think, right? That's a dream decor for a lot of teams,
Yeah.
right? Like if they were in their prime. I think personally, and I want your opinion on this, right? I think it's a mistake having that many young defensemen together because I think they lack an experienced guy that can be like, all right, like I'm gonna be the linchpin that stops the BS and be like, all right, like
Yeah.
this is how you handle it. I think
Yeah.
if you move one of these guys elsewhere, they'll probably thrive. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I firmly believe that. It's just I don't know. I think they're too young. I think being so young, I'm one of the more I know goalie's definitely the most difficult spot in the NHL. Even though David Ayers is a Hall of Fame legend and he's a Zamboni driver, but outside of goaltender, defense is one of the most difficult positions.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's you're picking up assignments, you're kind of reading the play, predicting where
Mm-hmm.
passes are going to go, making sure where lanes are, keeping your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
There's a lot to go on when you're playing
It's a
defense. And
lot.
I think if you had 2 vets on that team that were top 4 pairing quality, and then you kind of mix those two with other guys, I think you probably get a little bit better of a product. But I also don't know if they're just not getting coached up well either. I don't know. Like they shouldn't be this bad. I mean, they smoked my Bruins and made me like call the 1-800 number. Like I don't want to live. I don't want to live right now. So oh, sorry.
You know where I feel. I want Byron back on the Avs, like a fat kid wants cake.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
man.
I just
I
they
mean,
can't
listen.
deal. They can't deal Rasmus Dahlin because he's making like the gross national product of Bolivia right now.
Yeah.
You can only really move Byram. It's just who would really go after Power with that kind of cap space? Like, I mean, it's funny because
Oh, there'd be
I can
teams.
see now would since we brought them up before, would Columbus try to make that move? They got the cap.
Yeah, but they got the cap, I think, due to. Actually, let me kind of do the math on that. Let me pull up Columbus before I speak out of term. So, quick question here, right? So, does B become before O?
What?
I'm being sarcastic. Here on this list, it's like alphabetical, except Columbus. It's like C. It's like A H O M, and like B. I'm like, what? Sorry. So they have current cap space 49 million. Holy shit. 18 is projected. So I think that's 18. I think the projected to like if everybody's healthy. I think. So Monahan's 5.5. He's injured. Merchenko is 3.8. Yeah, they'd have tons of space to sign one of these guys. I can't even like.
Yeah.
They'd have a ton of space.
I mean, imagine that you. Now I know it's not always just a plug and play type situation, but if you were a Columbus fan, how tickled would you be to have Owen Power with Werenski,
Oh my god, that'd be great.
right?
That'd be.
From a Columbus standpoint, and it shores up your back end a lot. You may even get a little extra offensive production out of your blue line, which you're never going to turn that down.
I mean, they'd have the pieces to like make it work if they wanted to. I mean, it just kind of depends, right? It just depends. I think Columbus is actually. I don't think Columbus even expected to be this good this year.
No,
You know. You got a little bit of a feedback, by the way.
oh, sorry. What about now?
No, I don't believe
Better?
so. A little bit. It's all right.
La 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 la.
But I mean, so yeah, I could
I mean,
see them. And
I
then
think I could see them making some moves.
so I think yeah, Columbus be a buyer, Buffalo a seller, and then for the Winnipeg Jets, I think they just stay pat. I don't think you need to make much. Dallas, same thing. I
Mm-mm.
mean, unless you can get somebody on the cheap. Minnesota should probably add if they can.
Yeah.
If they want to try to get to
Oh, I think hands down they have to. Otherwise, they're going to keep doing Minnesota things and go out like the first or second round.
yeah. So and then kind of got it going down the list. The Oilers. I think another defenseman, if they could afford it, be good. I actually think they need a goaltender. Personally, I don't believe in
Yeah.
Skinner. I don't believe in Pickard.
No,
And that's no slight, but
I
I
love
don't know.
picks, but yeah,
I would
I
say
don't. I don't.
this: if the Oilers had a better goaltender last year, and Skinner had some nice moments, if they had like a better goaltender, they might win that series.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. The floor was really good, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Better spot. Vegas. Vegas just plays a very grindy game. Jack Eichel had a very good game the other
I don't.
night.
I don't think. I don't think. I don't think Vegas really needs to do anything though.
Um, I don't think so either.
I mean, what are they going to really add? That's just that won't potentially hose them. That they'd have to give up so much. I think they got to hold.
I think they made a mistake though getting rid of Logan Thompson, and I know why they had to because
Hmm.
they offered Aiden Hill money and then the
Yeah.
whole Robin Letter thing. But I think that was a mistake. They'll regret. The Kings. I mean, if they can buy, they can buy,
Yeah.
but you don't want to subtract from anything you have currently. And I think other buyers for me, the Avalanche. We've already had this discussion. Bowen Byram.
Hmm.
That'd be kind of like bringing him back would be an idea because
Huge.
I think you guys are missing a defenseman. But I would also say I
Hmm.
think if you guys could get like a solid middle six winger on your team would be good too. On the Avalanche,
Yeah.
somebody, Oh, and that's right too, Daryl. They Vegas did just add Brandon Saad for like nothing, just money.
Oh,
Off
did they
him.
pick up? I was wondering who was going to pick
They
him
did.
up. I saw him get released.
Yeah.
I saw him get released, so I had kind of a dumb day at work, so
That's all good.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, I Fallout just saw your comment. What's going on, buddy? He said, I like the Blue Jackets never watched them because of their goal song. It's annoying.
All I Okay, so when they had the All-Star game there
Mm-hmm.
and they kept firing the fucking cannon, that was one of the best things ever.
That's funny. DC said, hey, Captain Paul, ask your buddy if he thinks Nazem Kadri would be a good pickup for the Abs run. Ooh.
No,
Ooh. Oh,
no.
no.
If we're gonna go that hard, I want Kreider. I said that I wanted Kreider 4 or 5 years ago
Mm.
when they ended up picking up Kadri. I would have taken Kreider in a heartbeat over Kadri in a heartbeat. And in fact, I mean, if we did something now, but the thing was now that we don't really need him because hopefully, well, if he ever stays healthy, um, Val Chuskin was essentially, what we were looking for in Kreider. But I, we need a defenseman, maybe a little more bottom six, forward help. But other than that, I mean, even then, really, we don't need bottom six forward help because I was looking at the lines, and essentially, aside from a little finagling, our fourth line was what our third line was about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's an improvement. I'll take it. But we need, unfortunately, Middleton's got to go back to Colorado. We need somebody better than that if we're going to make a run. That's why I think Bo Byram's where you got to go.
And I say you got the goaltender in Blackwood. I think
Yeah,
but I would also say,
back to
I
back
think,
shutouts.
like I said, big fan of him. Um, I will also kind of say this though, Middlestat's got to start producing for you guys like more,
Hmm.
and he's got the talent in him.
Yeah, he's been a bigger disappointment. He was great last year during the playoffs, and I was really high on him coming into the season, but now it's just mm, kind of an empty uniform.
Oh,
I mean, he's here and there.
that's as first in the wild card spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. So that is wild card. Sorry, the Streamyard thing kind of. Let me actually. I don't know why, because I keep switching tabs, so kind of like I have to zoom in some. I'll kind of back that out a little bit, so it's a little easier to see for people. Other teams that you consider buying, I think the Flames, if the price is right, uh, I think they've kind of they've added some pieces. They're hoping hits, but I wouldn't jump anything crazy. Canucks, I think they kind of made their move.
What about the Blues?
No, I think you sell
Now,
personally.
now, remember with the conversation we had about the Blues? Would you about trading for Jordan Kyrou?
Again, if it makes sense, I mean it's if I'm the Blues, I'm trying to build for the future because I don't think even if they make like a splash, like unless it's somebody crazy, I don't think it makes them good enough to make the playoffs. So I think they'd be kind of in a good situation to sell some pieces, and if they could get some tangible assets back or even some draft capital that they like for the future, I think that'd probably be the best investment.
Fair.
Because I think teams run into the problem of buying when they probably should start selling. We've seen that happen with teams. I mean, I know when Detroit had that great run where they were constantly making playoff teams, like constantly making
Hmm.
playoffs, but they were just always kind of like a eighth or seventh seed at the time, and they probably would have been benefited being like, okay, listen, we're a okay team, but we're not great. Like let's kind of invest in the future, and then that kind of you saw for a while Detroit kind of pay for that. So I think it'd probably be in their best interest to sell. And I'm not saying crazy. I'm just saying maybe if you can get a little extra few draft picks, try to get them. You know.
Yeah, fair.
And let's see, kind of going through the comments. Rather have a good playoff player than a regular season good player. I mean, true. If you're a playoff team, Can't Control says West looks easier.
Yeah, I
Fallout.
don't know.
I think probably for this segment, I'm thinking that's what he thinks. Well,
Oh,
I mean,
okay, yeah.
actually, no. I mean, to be fair, the wild card race in the East is crazy.
Yeah, the wild card. Well, yeah, the wild card.
That's why I think he's
Oh, okay,
probably
that's where
thinking.
he's going. Fair, fair, fair.
I mean, top teams I think are still the good top teams. Did you see my comment earlier in the Canes bringing up a star rookie or a defenseman Scott Morrow? I think that means Orlov could be a move in a trade. Orlov didn't pay much last game, so Orlov would be a smart. Or trading Orlov for the Canes would be smart because first off, it's 7 mil. I think it is 7 mil. He's making up against the cap. Let me kind of confirm my mathematics. You
How
know,
old is Orlov?
he's a little bit longer in the tooth.
I want to say he's 28 or 29 now.
He is. No, he's older than that. I think he's 33. Yep, 33.
Oh, he's 33.
He's making. Oh,
Why
he's
did I think
making
he was
7 points. So he's in the last year of his deal. He's making 7.75 million per year. And
Fuck it, we'll send him to Columbus too. Everybody goes to Columbus.
so, like, if I'm Columbus, because Calgary could technically absorb half of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Columbus, I'd kick the tires.
Yeah.
I think Orlov is a very good defenseman. I mean, I think Orlov's a good defenseman. We had him in Boston for that minute, and
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the biggest fan of his game. Now, I haven't watched him night in, night out for Carolina. I've seen a lot of his games, obviously, especially more in rewinds. But I'm not going to sit here and watch every single game of the Carolina this year, so Fallout might have a little bit more of a better description of his game. But I remember watching him when I was watching him every single game for the rest of that season. He's good. He has some offensive gifts, but man, he would make some pretty brain dead moves at
Yeah.
times. And it's just he's got the offensive upside, but
Just
you know,
watching him get the puck out of your own end was terrifying at times.
yeah. I think they would probably trade Orlov though for like a tangible piece back because they got
Mm-hmm.
Rantanen. I actually like the Hurricanes defense. If they could trade Orlov for like a top six winger or top six forward, where I think Natchez is look phenomenal for Colorado. Like
Mm-hmm.
if Carolina gets Rantanen and another talented player, I mean they're in a pretty damn good spot. So, and then Fallout says Orlov has been very good. I think he leads in plus minus for the first part of the season, like 2 months. I mean that's good. I mean when he's good, he's good. I just remember watching when I was
Yeah.
watching him with the beat. He might be just was the fit in the
Uh,
system. And Hurricanes would likely trade for a Sierra goalie. I mean, if they could, I mean, Carolina, boop, 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 depth chart. And the depth chart's not always accurate on here. It's kind of like cat friendly in that way. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you could get an upgrade at center, I mean, that's a pretty friggin' good top six.
it's pretty strong.
Yeah, you need
And even
definitely
even the third line's pretty strong between Jarvis and Stahl.
yeah,
I mean, granted, Stahl's older than dirt, but
still a good player. And then you got Roslovic, and yeah, I mean, you got some pieces here. I really like Slavin. And then Kochetkov. How's he done this year? Actually, I'm kind of interested. How's the boy done this year? He's okay. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do the stop sharing. Messed up.
what are you?
Messed up. I'm a failure. I'm sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Well done.
So yeah, 903, not bad, not
No,
great. So yeah, if they could get like an upgrade in net, I mean that's possible. But who's out there?
Grubauer.
Technically,
I mean,
or God damn, I did it again. I hit the wrong button. God damn
they're
it.
not going to give anything up for him. Very
You know,
little. They just got to worry about that cap.
so um Fallout says Kochetkov's stats are misleading. He only faces high dangerous chances. I say isn't great, but that high danger saver is going to just top of the league. Is there actually? Hold on, let me high danger. Where's that going? Save percentages. NHL. Yeah, there it is, Money Puck. I have this saved. All right, hold on. Share this tab, Paul. Don't hit the damn wrong one. Ooh, Grubauer's bottom of the list on this one, baby. Holy shnikes. Well, let me put this down so people
Right
can actually
besides
see.
Georgiev.
Good old Georgie. Let me.
So many more former Avs goalies we can get at the bottom of the list here.
Primo. Where's my boy Swayman? There he is. That's been terrible. All right, so let me go. So Connor Hellebuck. Um, you got Logan Thompson's had a phenomenal year. Joey Decord, Dostal, Gibson's kind of had a resurgent year. My boy Blackwood, Joseph Walsh, Shesterkin, Dustin Wolf, Kemper, Allen, Vamelka. Vamelka's had a back year. Okay, good for him. Gustafson, Talbot, Jacob Markstrom, Olmar. So let's see. Where is he? And then Kochetkov, yeah, 23rd. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. That's crazy. And then Gold's been average. Oh my god, I feel bad for the rookie. Look, he's first list. Oh, you poor bastard. That's yeah, come on, man. Like one game played, you're gonna do him like that. All right. There should be some. There's got to be a filter, right? I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Thank God. All right, let me do like 30 games. Or maybe is that too much? Let's do 25, just to be inclusive. Thompson, great year. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but Kochetkov, 16. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's like, okay.
He's up there. It's solid.
It's weird because I didn't expect his average stats to be that bad because I watched a few games. So I thought he looked good, so I don't know if
Yeah.
I was just catching the good ones. So
I was just catching the good ones, not the mediocre ones.
Yeah. He says, "Was it magical when your team won the cup?" Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was. It was magical for me. I mean, it was like a crazy experience because I remember watching the Bruins like when they had like Jason Allison and like Brian Ralston, Glenn Murray, Joseph
Wow.
Stumple, Mike Knuble,
PJ Stock.
PJ Stock was fun to watch though.
I love PJ Stock.
But yeah, he played some rough years, right? Sergei Samsonov, I was really big fan of, and he didn't pan out because of his like wrist problems. But yeah, it was Byron Defoe, Rob Tallis. I remember Steve Shields being our goaltender at one point, and
Wow.
Andrew Raycroft for
Andrew
that like.
the Razor.
But then we traded him eventually for freaking Tuukka Rask, and that was a steal. Yeah, there was a lot of. It was funny, right? Because Bruins are kind of known as a goaltending team now. Like they just get good goaltending. There was for a while, man. Like we had like Jeff Hackett, uh,
Oh my
Alex
God.
Ald. Dude, I can name all
Yep.
these obscure goaltenders that we had at one point. It was crazy. So yeah, sorry, rant.
No,
Oh,
dude, I
yep,
can do the same
yep.
thing.
We had Daryl. You missed earlier in the stream. We did our top 5 goaltenders of all time, and then top 5 outside the top 3 of Hasek, Brodeur, and Waugh. Potvin kind of got a little bit of an honorable mention there. He's great. Yeah. So he was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, kind of going back though. Share this tab. If I'm Utah, I think they're young. If you can buy, you can like buy for the future, but like probably sell with any vet. I don't think, I don't really sell. Ducks, I think the Ducks are kind of in a weird spot because they have a bunch of young talent. They should be better than they are. I think they should sell some pieces. Predators, I think you throw it into the dumpster. Like I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
I thought they were going to be so much better than they are, but you know,
I thought they would be, you know, maybe third in the Central. Fighting definitely in the wild card conversation, but not just, fucking Titanic, just iceberg, just going down with the ship.
and then Chicago and San Jose. I mean, you just kind of stay pat, keep
Hmm.
picking high, and keep getting draft picks, and then unless Connor McDavid gets offered in a trade for first overall, uh, that's the only way you move that pick. So But yeah, no, I think I think that kind of buyers sellers. Anyone you can kind of think of off the top of your head that you're like, oh, we gotta do this team or
No, I think we got it.
Jesus Christ, this hour, oh my God, almost 2 hours, just bullshitting.
Yeah,
This has been fun. I appreciate everybody. Dude, this is like, how the fuck are we getting this many viewers this late? This is interesting. All right.
dude. Just because we're weird.
I, that,
And
you're,
there's you know, people are sick of watching Chopped on Food Network, so they found us.
dude, are we the alternate version? Oh, dude, we're the, yeah, we're the, we're the alternative for the Food Network. I'm not mad at that.
That Home and Garden, HGTV, and Food. You know, where that God. I've seen this episode of Chopped or a Kids Baking Championship.